Okay, I'm not sure how the background will work on this. Tiny place. I'm in a place called Spring. Whatever. You don't care. I'm gonna. This video is gonna be just about how to the interaction really between the rate of return and the growth rate. Now, if we keep the rate of return and the cost of capital the same, and I don't know, we can change the rate of inflation, change the growth rate, and nothing really changes in terms of the PE ratio. I don't know if the EV to EBITDA ratio changed a tiny bit, but let's change the growth rate to 5%. Basically, all the ratios really stay the same. It's not until you earn more than your cost of capital then things get crazy. If we get this kind of a growth rate, we have 20 years instead of 10 years, we can kind of see what happens to all of these variables. If you have more inflation, I've got to figure out why the inflation would affect the growth rate. Okay. Okay, I'm back. The point of this video, I just want to emphasize the point of this video. I'm going to try to demonstrate now if the growth rate is the same. In fact, why don't we put a Shift Control 7, and if maybe I should, oops, maybe we should do it like this, Shift Control 7. If the IRR is the same, if whether we look at the PE ratio or anything else, they'll be the same. But then we'll have this extreme interaction. It's not going to be kind of a straight line. It's going to be a big linear function of both the growth and the difference between the cost of capital and the IRR and investments. Now, what we'll do is show how this works if we use the economic theoretical depreciation, or if we use classic depreciation, so we can see how that the simple accounting affects things in corporate analysis. And then the other thing we can do is I suppose, let's look at all of these. Now, why don't we just put the value of the company? Company. So, oops. And what we'll do is just pick any one of these things. So where is the company value? Come on. NPV of cash flow. Okay, and I suppose we're doing all these also in year 10. Come on. Okay. So we can kind of see what happens to both of these things with and without some growth. So remember, if we put 0 growth and I guess, okay, whatever. Now let's do some silly things. Let's put a drop-down box. And what we'll do is we're going to make a data table. And in the data table, we'll be able to pick any of these outputs. I'm going to make it with a macro instead of a data table function.
I learned from somebody that uh, I think, who was it? Somebody in France told me. Oh, Tristan in France told me you can make a data table in a separate sheet. I forgot how to do it. It was a pretty fancy way to do it. And then let's also make one more of these things. Okay, and let's take, we can either take um, the 2-year or the 10-year. So I'll put 2-year. Okay, I don't know why that, and of course we go to a different sheet, back to this sheet, I'll put the true in. Okay, now let's put the index, which is the best brother. It's the brother of the drop-down box. Almost don't see how you'd make the drop-down box without the index. Okay, and then we can put kind of the output value. If it's true, we'll take the 2-year use. So our output, let's first put the index again of, oh, we don't need that. Sorry about that. We have the name, so we'll put the name, and we'll take one of these outputs, whatever we want. Now, if I make the data table, again, every single time we do this, sorry, if it's true, then we'll take the 2-year, and then I'll take the 10-year. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay, we just have to wait for it. So we'll make this data table with any of these, and it will show that the that oh, I think all of these ratios will be dramatically affected, maybe with the exception of the ROIC, but all of these kind of valuation ratios will be dramatically affected by this. Now, we're not finished with this, and I haven't shown you where I'm putting the output for all this stuff yet. It's going to be in the corporate analysis on the website. Okay, and now to make this, we should make a few range names. So we'll put, but we'll make an output up here. We'll make the so we'll make the row start. We don't really need to make that capital letter on the row end. I'm really a little upset that you have to watch all this column start, because I'm trying to illustrate just how dramatic some of these valuation ratios change, which probably you know. I mean, if you've ever seen this, they change dramatically. And now what we're going to do afterwards is show a couple of different valuation methods. And as I said, we're going to put what happens if the value of a plane goes down, what happens if the IRR goes up or down, what happens if the growth rate changes in the long run, medium term, short run, long run, medium term. What's the effect of the life of the planes? I'm not going to put maintenance in yet. And what's the effect of even inflation on this whole thing? You'd think inflation wouldn't make any difference, but it has some funny effects, I think. Now then we put the I think let's call this the these are the different columns. So we'll put call input row and row input column. So I know it's completely seems backwards to have to put all of these in, okay? And then to make it flexible, let's just put equal row of the, oh, come on. Okay, so this is the row start. And it, of course, doesn't matter where you put it, and we just need the row. And this is the first column. And this is the last column. And this is the row of this. And this is the column of this. And finally, whoops. And I think we need the input I suppose we'll do this. Let's do this. This is the IRR. Why don't I just call this IRR input, and we'll call this the growth input. Okay. So the row, this was the IRR input and the growth input. So we just have to remember that now. Once we do this, the rest of it's pretty straightforward. We just go to our macro. I guess we'll go put it under here. And why don't I put it at the bottom for this one? Okay, so we'll put sub table, and we'll put we'll go around the rows first. Why don't we put, okay, yeah, row equals range, start row, did I put it like that? And row start. And I haven't even named the ranges yet. And then we'll do the same for the column. For column equal range, column start, to, come on, range, column end. I just, okay, and then we better do this. And then as we go around the rows, here, as we go around the rows, we need to define the growth rate. So this is going to be growth input, and it's going to be the whatever row we are on, and the column input row. Excuse me, row. No, we're going to go around the rows, and this is going to be number 3, row input column. Shit, that was pretty stupid. So cells, row, comma, range, row, input, column. And that's what the, okay, I know that. And that's what we put the range, growth, input. And then we, okay, fine. And then, so that defines that, the cells. And then we put range, the IRR input. cells, row, this is column, range, call, inputs, row, that was a horrible thing to name it, equals, comma, column. Okay, and then we're finished, and then we put cells, row, comma, column, equals range, outputs. Okay, now if it goes slowly, we can, instead of defining this here, we can define this as a variable, and then print the variable out at that row. But that's it. Okay, and let's name this. Shift Control F3. Okay, and then let's make a button here. Okay, and so we can even, and we could even define, we can even assign it to this other thing. I just pointed with my finger, but we could define, we could assign it to this too. Okay, and then we, okay. Is that taking too long? I don't know. It's probably not the data table really that's taken that long, but you can see just the dramatic kind of changes. I think what I'm going to do after this is let's do it with the PE ratio. Okay. Now, if we wanted to make a graph, this could be on the x-axis, and this is on the y-axis. So let's put it. Yeah, let's just do the value. Why don't we do the value? Okay. Oh, that's great. We have a negative value. And then we... No, that didn't. I'm really sorry, but that's not adequate. I'm going to finally do it with the PE ratio. Okay. That's not really interesting. But we can see that this, let's shift control, okay, and I hope that this PE ratio, when we do this one, it'll demonstrate the, I forgot to press it, but it'll demonstrate just how dramatically the PE ratio goes up here. If the IRR is below the cost of capital as expected, the PE ratio goes down. Growth is bad, growth doesn't matter, growth is good. If we've got zero growth, well, it didn't really, I wasn't exactly right. But look, it goes suddenly up to 27 here, and this just goes over here. So let's try something. Let's try a couple graphs. Now, the good news about this is I'm going to press Alt F1. This is the PE ratio, okay. Hang on, just a minute. Okay, I decided to make a kind of graph like this, which graphs the growth rate against the PE ratio. These are just links to a title. So let's just, well, let's do one thing before I copy it. If you, let's just copy it to, here. Whoops, oh shit. Okay. And if we select the data and switch the row and column, did I do that? I don't know if that is a better one for you, but that says that. So this shows you just how it's not linear at all, the relationship. You have this extreme relationship. Growth doesn't matter here, and it matters if you have a much higher return on capital than or lower than cost of capital. This shows the same thing. This isn't the growth rate. This is now the IRR. I'll put IRR, have a relative. No, just put IRR input. Okay, and that's the PE ratio, and this one is the PE versus the growth rate. So excuse me, this is, I've got it backwards, don't I? This is really the IRR versus PE versus the growth rate. This is the PE versus the IRR, okay? So in this case, we have a much extreme relationship, whereas if we have a low growth rate here, it doesn't matter, but if we have a high growth rate, this IRR goes crazy and has a very extreme slope. So I haven't really told you anything. I wish this would tell you what the correct PE ratio is. The one thing it does tell you is you can't really tell. You can't just you don't know what it is. This is what sucks so bad. Let's do the same thing with the market to book ratio. So all you do here is I'm rerunning the table. Why don't I switch it off over? Now the IR, the market to book ratio is always 1, but you know it goes up to 3, and it only goes up to 1.83, whereas here, I don't know, it also went down. So it's the same kind of thing. We start here, and we have this exact 1, and it can be more extreme with the higher growths or lower growths, and the same thing here, where we have, here's the IRR input versus different growth rates up here. Okay. This. Hang on, I'm going to try one more thing and then stop the video. Okay, I'm finishing this because I did this. I suppose it was a very minor benefit, but you could have done it like this and got the IRRs on the investments and made a line graph. So what you would have had to do to get all the little things at the scale like this, all you need to do is graph these two together. Okay. And I guess I'll leave that. This is enough of this video.